Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today, I am going to talk about something very, very important what's going out there in the guru educational trading space and trying to address it one way but resolve it another way. Okay, so if you come into my blog at quantlabs.net/blog, you will see there I have an article called Third Party Track Record Coming with Broker Records. If you notice here, I have or will be removing the track records, and if it does, in the meantime, I'll take you to this exact article. So in there, in this article, I speak of how I have struggled putting together code and scripting where everything's all bugged. I fix it and then it goes back to some problem and nothing gets fixed. So that has become a really big distraction for me. And in this next paragraph, I talk about how even if I try to fix these problems, I don't think people would still put a lot of thought into it because it's still not credible. So in there, I'm talking about in order to really build credibility with folks, you have to have your track record coming right through a third-party service like CoinCompare for crypto, or if you're using Forex like MyFX Book. So what these services do, like CoinCompare, will you give it access to your exchange account. In my case, maybe Kraken as an example, or in my case for Oanda, MyFX Book for that as well. So with that, you will be able to see every trade, and you get the third-party trading record, or through the third party, get the trading record, which is verifiable, and that works. So once you show profit with that, do understand now you're able and be in a position where you can start commanding and demanding premium pricing. So what that means, if you are what I would consider people like this, I got a headline here, the kind of customer I don't work with. There's people out there that are this. Either they want some kind of magical unicorn. They may jump from shiny toy to shiny toy, want rags to riches overnight. To me, in essence, those are the kind of people that I find have a very unrealistic objective, and pretty well, I don't think I'd be a right fit for them. They can go with all the college frat boys services with their Lamborghinis and showing off their pimp and hoe lifestyle. That's up to them. The other kind of person I don't like is I had an example of this earlier this week where I had some pretty well a simply self-entitled potty mouth jerk on my group and just didn't like the way the group was and didn't really respectfully ask why, but it was just F this, S that. So obviously you're not going to take that too kindly because they're not really respecting the people in the group or myself. So it's pretty quick and dirty way of getting rid of them. So some other people with the same attitude, with a self-entitled attitude, want to just see your performance records. Now, I'm not just going to hand out trading records just to anybody. I kind of got to know you in terms of what are your goals, what are you trading, what's your portfolio, because I want to know that we're going to be a good fit if you decide to move up the ladder with some of my more higher price ticket items, or actually do consulting work, which I'm going to ramp up again pretty soon. And it's not going to be cheap, just so everyone knows that. Now, there's going to be some people saying, well, if you don't provide that, then why would I provide it to you if you are not going to be able to show me you have the work ethic to get to where you need to be? So it's not a win-win situation for either party. And again, if you want the rags to riches store, just go with the stupid frat boys that you see with their Lamborghinis and pimp and hoe lifestyle and what they're pushing out. So that's up to you. And I base that when I talk to people pretty well on a weekly basis that sign up for um, big name trading services, spend literally thousands of dollars on it, and they go nowhere with it, with poor results. Do they have the work ethic, or is the service just putting out smoke and mirrors and putting a dog and pony show that looks good, and then you sign up and you just go nowhere with it? So understand that. The other big thing that I look for, if I was looking for trading records, there's a guy out there that we probably all know, who comes from Goldman Sachs, and he's put out a video a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, and said that if they're not able to show that their name is not on the SEC or through the British financial, I think it's the FSA, authorities or regulators out of those countries, do not use them. Well, I could go one step further, because anybody, I can guarantee you this, anybody can have their name registered with these authorities, but doesn't mean that they are a person of scruples. They're not a person that is honest. They're not a person with high morals. What they'll do is they think that their credibility stops there. I would also demand, are you a CFA? If they do not provide their CFA or do not showcase their CFA, then whoever puts their name on through a regulator are just as crap as what I would be perceived as crap. Because I'll give you the wealth fund managers that I work with that do have CFAs, that do work in our case in Canada, the big five banks, they do not mess around with either their designation of a CFA, plus they're heavily mandated and scrutinized, not just by the CFA Institute, but they're mandated by a professional trading authority in Canada. Plus they have a mandate within the bank. Plus they have a mandate within their departments. They have 4 levels of mandates that they got to follow. And a CFA will not mess around, because that's their career on the line. So go one step farther and say, where's your CFA? Regardless of if they're a trader or an analyzer, if they're a money manager or whatever, make sure they're at least a CFA. Because once you start demanding a CFA, then you will have to pay for the service. But you know that's somebody you could trust. Just don't stop with these yahoos that think I am on the SEC or the British authority. They can be still scammers, and when they get caught, they get a little slap on the wrist. They have to be literally the equivalent of a pedophile to be determined that they should be removed from that authorization or regulation. The other big thing you need to factor in is that trading's changed. Trading has seriously changed. As an example, a guru comes out and says, I'm from Goldman Sachs and my crap don't smell. Well, I'll tell you this, so what? If you come out of Goldman Sachs 20 years ago, yes, you can call yourself a trader, but the game has changed. You're basically, whatever you're pumping out is equivalent of useless information pretty well. You're gone. You're a dinosaur. You are going by the way of the dodo. Why do I say that? Let's face it. If you say you're coming out from Goldman Sachs, that's all fine and good. But when you look at today, 1/3 of all employees in Goldman Sachs are software engineers. What does that mean? That means that Goldman Sachs is no longer an investment bank. They are a technology company, no different than Google. They have to be to stay competitive to hire software engineers because of the large Silicon Valley firms. So that's the direction they're going in. Not only that, they're also going in the direction of coding and software engineering, because it's all now literally driven by machine learning, artificial intelligence. And I'm not meaning the stupid gurus out there that think they're intelligent, but it's really artificial. Not speaking of that, but I'm talking about data science, AI, machine learning. A lot of that's being driven by coders, by mathematicians. That's where traders are today. No different than in the large JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs investment banks. These are how the trading desks are being run and maintained literally by software engineers and data scientists and mathematicians. So those are the trading, that's where trading is today, automated. That's what I do. So again, having your little name, some regulation, it's irrelevant, because all the information you pump out is irrelevant as well. You cannot compete against bots. You cannot compete against algorithms in this space of trading. There are ways to counteract it, but you still need to be automated to catch the good trades. They do not happen between 9 and 5 anymore. It's 24 hours. And as the space starts to move towards cryptocurrency, which never closes, I think personally all trading will be having to stay open 24/7 over holidays and whatnot. Why? Because that's the flow of capital. That's where it's going. Anyways, that's another story. So I just want to put all that together on why third-party track record is important. Another big factor is you want to get access to track records. Again, going back to these gurus, if they do not have up-to-date track records to show how their performance was today, yesterday, anything that they've done a year ago or even last week is irrelevant and obsolete because the market regime changes and they have to adjust. And if they're not adjusting to the market regime changes, they're worthless and they're going to pump out worthless educational material that does not know how to adjust to the markets where things are at today. High volatility, low interest, blah, blah, blah. I could go on. But anyways, I'm not going to rant here, but I just want to tell you that if they do not provide third-party verified services like, as I said, MyFX book, or if you're doing crypto coin compare, the service is useless. The information is literally useless because they do not have confidence and they're not trading. And again, why trade with them? And that's why I have what I have, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Hopefully, I'll help you out. We shall talk to you later. Have a good day.